I want to tell you a story whispered on the wind for centuries, carried through the deep, dark woods of England, where every leaf and shadow seems to hold a secret. It's about a man in Lincoln Green, quick with a bow and quicker with a smile. Robin Hood. He moved like a shadow, but his legend blazed bright. His name rings like a bell, hope for the poor, a warning for the greedy. In every village, his deeds were spoken of in awe and in fear. This isn't just a campfire story. It's a legend that grows with every telling, always holding on to its powerful heart, echoing through generations. It's about standing up against what's wrong, about fairness, and helping your neighbor, even when the world seems unfair or dangerous. There are thrilling chases, clever tricks, and a loyalty that turns outlaws into family. Every moment is filled with risk, but also with laughter and hope. We'll meet his band of merry men, Maid Marian, and the villains who made his life a challenge. Each character brings their own courage and dreams to the tale. Robin Hood reminds us that sometimes the greatest heroes live outside the law to do what's right, risking everything for justice. We'll wander back in time through the misty paths of Sherwood Forest, hearing the twang of a bowstring and the laughter of men who chose freedom over fear. The world has changed, but justice, courage, and a helping hand never go out of style. These are the threads that bind us to the past. That's the magic of this legend. It speaks to something deep inside us all, a longing for fairness and a belief in the power of good. So, get comfortable. Let the noise of the modern world fade away, and let your imagination wander to a time of heroes and hidden glades. The story of Robin Hood is waiting, ready to be discovered once more, whenever you're ready to listen.
Things you only talk about at the back of the cave.
Before we dive into the greenwood, take a breath. Let your mind wander back in time to a world that feels both distant and strangely familiar. Picture a world of stone castles, simple villages, and dense forests where a person could vanish. Life moved at the pace of the seasons, and the wild woods were both a refuge and a threat. Justice was a luxury for the rich. The poor struggled under heavy taxes and harsh rulers. For most, survival meant hard work and little reward, while the powerful took what they pleased. This world needed a hero like Robin Hood, someone to balance the scales, even if it meant breaking a few rules. He became a symbol of hope, a figure who dared to challenge the order of things. Imagine working hard, only to have a greedy sheriff take everything. You'd feel helpless. The weight of injustice pressed down on every family, every day. Then a rumor spreads. A man in the forest fights for people like you. That whisper sounds like hope. Suddenly, the impossible feels possible, and courage stirs in the hearts of the downtrodden. These stories weren't just entertainment. They were a way to talk about injustice and dream of a better world. Around the fire, tales of Robin Hood gave people strength to face another day. When you couldn't stand up to the powerful, you could cheer for Robin Hood. His victories became your victories, his defiance your secret rebellion. The tales became a release, a shared dream, passed down from parent to child, woven into the culture. Each retelling kept hope alive, even in the darkest times. As we step into this world, remember, it's more than adventure. It's a reflection of hope and fear. The forest is alive with secrets, and every shadow holds a story. The legend of Robin Hood is a promise that even in the darkest times, a single arrow shot with a good heart can make all the difference. It's a reminder that courage can spark change. The stage is set, the forest is waiting. The air is thick with anticipation, as if the trees themselves are holding their breath. Let's ride into Sherwood and meet the man himself. The adventure is about to begin. The tales of Robin Hood are as numerous as the leaves in Sherwood Forest, whispered from one generation to the next beneath the ancient trees. One famous story tells how Robin meets Little John at a narrow bridge. They duel fiercely with staffs, the river rushing below, and after a spirited contest, Little John wins. Robin, impressed by his strength and good humor, invites him to join the merry men, forging a friendship that would become legendary. Another tale unfolds when the cunning sheriff of Nottingham hosts an archery contest, hoping to trap Robin. Disguised among the crowd, Robin wins by splitting an arrow in the bullseye, outwitting the sheriff yet again, and escapes with his loyal men into the safety of the greenwood. Robin's motto was simple: rob from the rich, give to the poor. He tricks greedy bishops and corrupt officials, sometimes even feasting with them in disguise, only to use their gold to save struggling families and bring hope to the oppressed. These daring acts made him a hero to the common folk, a symbol of justice and generosity in a world ruled by the powerful. Then there's Maid Marian, a noblewoman who chooses the wild freedom of the forest over the comforts of luxury, often as skilled with a bow as any merry man, and just as brave. Their love story adds a touch of romance to the legend, showing that Robin fought not just for justice, but for happiness and loyalty as well. The bond between Robin and Marian is stronger than class or power. A perfect match for the outlaw hero, and a reminder that love can flourish even in the wildest places. Through cleverness, courage, and compassion, Robin's adventures became the heart of legend, inspiring all who heard them to dream of freedom and fairness. Each tale, whether of daring escapes, clever tricks, or simple acts of kindness, built the myth that still inspires us today, centuries later. In Sherwood, every day was a new adventure, every victory a spark of hope, and every legend a promise that justice could triumph, even in the darkest times. To understand Robin Hood, you need to know his world. Medieval England, a land of knights, castles, and hardship for the common folk. The stories are set in Nottinghamshire, in the vast Sherwood Forest, the king's hunting ground with strict laws. For the poor, hunting a deer could mean death. The forest was both danger and refuge. Many legends place Robin's adventures during King Richard the Lionheart's reign, while his brother Prince John ruled unjustly in his absence. Prince John and the Sheriff of Nottingham became symbols of corruption and greed. Robin wasn't just a thief. He was a loyal Englishman resisting a corrupt regime, waiting for the true king's return. He fought not to overthrow the system, but to restore justice when the law failed the people. This backdrop made Robin's actions heroic, not criminal. The legend's political message, loyalty to justice and country, outweighs obedience to unjust rulers. In a world of unfair laws, Robin Hood became the people's champion. Robin Hood's legend is filled with unforgettable characters. Little John, his loyal second-in-command, was a giant with a big heart and a quick wit. Maid Marian, brave and skilled, chose love and justice over comfort. The Sheriff of Nottingham, greedy and relentless, was Robin's perfect adversary, powerful but always outsmarted. Friar Tuck brought humor and muscle, while Will Scarlet added fiery spirit. Alan a Dale, the minstrel, spread their tales far and wide. Together they formed a family, bound by cause, not blood. Each character added depth, making Sherwood Forest a world of loyalty, courage, and camaraderie. Why did Robin Hood's legend endure? Because he was the hero the powerless dreamed of. He fought for the people, not for himself, turning stories of theft into fantasies of justice. Robin was relatable, clever, brave, and full of humor, an underdog who triumphed over corrupt power. The merry men created their own free community in the greenwood, a symbol of liberty. For peasants tied to the land, the idea of freedom in the forest was irresistible. Robin Hood stood for a higher law, moral justice over legal oppression. Breaking unjust laws became heroic, not criminal. That's what transformed Robin from thief to righteous rebel, and why his story still resonates. Was Robin Hood real? The answer is elusive. No solid evidence proves he existed, no records, no grave, just whispers in old documents. Names like Robert Hod or Robe Hod appear in medieval records, but they're too common to confirm. Some historians believe Robin Hood is a composite, a symbol of many outlaws who resisted injustice. Others try to link him to specific figures, but the evidence is thin. In the end, Robin Hood is a spirit of rebellion, a legend born from real struggles. The search for the historical Robin is like chasing a ghost, always just out of reach. The earliest Robin Hood stories weren't in history books, but in ballads sung by common folk. By the late 1300s, his legend was already widespread. Early tales painted Robin as a gritty, sometimes violent outlaw, more focused on tricking corrupt officials than charity. Over centuries, writers softened his image, making him a nobleman wronged by fate. The Robin Hood we know, a patriotic hero loyal to King Richard, in love with Marian, was shaped by Victorian novels and popular culture. Each retelling adapted him to the times, turning a rough rebel into a timeless champion. Centuries later, Robin Hood is as popular as ever. His story speaks to our hope that good can triumph over evil, that the underdog can win. Robin Hood is a symbol of courage, justice, and the power of one person to inspire change. The legend adapts to every era, sometimes a children's tale, sometimes a political statement. In hard times, he's a hero of the poor. In corrupt times, a righteous rebel. From classic films to modern retellings, Robin Hood is a global icon. The name itself stands for a certain kind of justice. Whether man or myth, the legend is real. Its power to inspire is real. The outlaw who stood up for the oppressed still echoes through the ages. It's a whisper on the wind, urging us to be brave, kind, and hopeful. The legend of Robin Hood rides on as merry and meaningful as ever.